Hi, it's Kyle Meredith. Welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith With. It's an audio interview series presented by WFPK, Independent Louisville, and Consequence of Sound and the Consequence Podcast Network. Today, I'm talking to the legendary Otis Williams of the Temptations. They've got a brand new record out called All the Time. There's 3 originals and a lot of covers. One of those covers is a Michael Jackson tune, and I get to talk with Otis Williams about his time spent knowing Michael and the reasons why he picked the song Remember the Time specifically to cover. Also, as the last surviving member of the Temptations, we talk about how does the band go on if he ever decides to retire. It's Kyle Meredith with the Temptations. Hi, Otis. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well. It's a real honor and pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on the new record, All the Time.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
I know it's been a little while since you had a new album out. What brought this one on? Why now?
Well, I think it was a coincidental, either probably by design. By that I mean, I went up to Universal to take my grandson. He had a rap little record that he wanted to see if I can get him a deal. And when I went there and I spoke with Mr. Bruce Resnikoff, who's one of the senior vice president of Universal, and he asked me, what's the Temps doing? I said, well, we're rehearsing and getting ready to go back out on the road, breaking into new guys. He said, so, well, with that being said, you want to do a new CD? And naturally, I jumped at the chance because we hadn't had any product out in 8 years. So he said, well, great, let's do a cover job. And I said, nah, I don't want to do no cover job. We've been there, done that. So the compromising position was, okay, put in 3 originals that go along with the cover jobs. And here is the Temptations All the Time.
Now, 3 of those originals, they sound really good. One I gravitate toward is probably Move the Britches. Maybe just because it's such a up-tempo, fun track. What's the story behind that one?
Well, that's Larry Bragg's song, and I mentioned to the guys that do write in the group, Ron Tyson, who's a noted producer and songwriter, and then Larry, which he just joined us a couple of years ago, and they came with their songs, and I liked them, and I added them along with Waiting on You, and then with the rest of the songs that we were doing, and it turned out to be a wonderful piece of product. Joined together.
I know, a lot of the rest of the songs, they are cover songs, but most of them are sort of recent cover songs. Bruno Mars, The Weeknd, Ed Sheeran. I do wonder, though, like when you look at the line between, pop and R&B songs now to the ones of the earliest days of the Temptations, like is there much difference there, or are there a lot of similarities that you hear?
Well, you know what? I think the wonderful thing of me being at Motown, sitting in, listening at the quality control meetings, and how Mr. Gordy respect and would tell the artists and rather the producers how to write a song, the elements of a great song, great lyrics, strong melody, and with the right kind of structure. So whenever I have to formulate about something for the Temptations, I always base it on, that's a great song. It's structured right. Lyrically, it's nice. Melodically, it's right. So that was the premise of these songs, because every one that I listened at, great melodies, great storylines, haunting things that would just pluck the right nerve, that make you say, I love that song. So that's what we tried to do by picking the songs that we did to augment with the 3 originals.
And it's hard not to sit around on one of the other covers, Remember the Time. A Michael Jackson song, not the most obvious of Michael Jackson songs, but you already were part of the story of that song, right?
Yes, Michael invited me down for the shooting of Remember the Time, and during the process of them getting the lighting right for him to shoot it, him and I sat in his trailer, and we reminisced about old times of being in Motown and look at us now, that kind of conversation. And it was just wonderful to spend time with Mike. And then that was the last time I really got a chance to talk with him, because his career was moving as such, as well as the Temps. But when I saw the list and I saw Remember the Time, I said, I got to do that. I got to do it, because it brought back a remembrance of when Mike invited me down to see him shoot that.
I mean, the Jacksons, they owed so much to the Temptations anyway with their sound and those influences. And to see something that you were a part of become, the Temptations in themselves is such a worldwide thing, and then something like Michael Jackson, which is a comet,
Absolutely. He's one of the all-time greats, along with Prince and the Sam Cooks and the Elvis Presleys and, with some of the great talent that God has bestowed upon us. Well, Mike is in that same echelon.
No, I do wonder, though, when you're making a new record, you are the last original member. Does it ever cross your mind, like, what would we have done, 40, 50 years ago? What would those guys have done at this point? Does that ever cross your mind?
Not really, because we have been so engrossed in the existing thing of the Temps and trying to always improve to be a better act than we are known for, that I never really languish back into those kind of thinking. I'm always thinking progressive, in the sense of what can we do now? What can we refine? What can we carry on so the guys from the days of Yo can really feel proud about that we're still carrying the banner of what the Temps are known for. So I don't too much think along those lines of that way of thinking.
Now, I from what I gather, you've got no plans to hang it up anytime soon. But if that day comes where you say, I'm not going to do the road, do the Temptations continue?
Good question, because that's the thing that I'm thinking about. Because as long as my body and voice hold up, I'm going to ride the hair off the horse. So it'll be bald when I get off of it. But that is something that is to be considered, because I would like for the Temptations to continue. But I've been told, they say, well, if you're not, that's not going to have the same kind of meaning. And I say, yeah, I know, because I hear that all the time. But we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But right now I'm still enjoying the ride. Well, you've got this new record to get out there and promote, throw in some of these songs on the tour. Are there any extra special plans for the year, for the upcoming tour? Well, no more than supporting the piece of product that we have out, and also the play that's getting ready to make its debut again next month. So those two things are keeping me quite busy, because I will still have to go around and promote not only the CD, but people want to talk to me about the play, because it's about my life and the Temps. So those two things alone will keep me busy as a blind dog at a meat market. I noticed, though, this one, this new record does line up sort of on the anniversary, because it was, 54 years ago this month that the debut came out. Really? Yeah, I don't know if I guess it was just coincidence that it lined up like that, or at least I think that's what I read anyway. So. Oh, okay. See, coincidences, they always happen for us, and I'm just, when I get a call about, man, do you know my girl has just been put in the Congress of Registrations of Songs. I said, wow, really? And then I'm always getting, different things about the happening of our catalog, or how the group has been received and looked upon. So it's just wonderful still. Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you again, and I want to thank you for all the many classics that you've helped put into the world. Well, Kyle, like I tell people, it's a hand-in-glove situation. If it wasn't for you all, there would be no us. So it's not all just the Temps. It's our fans that help support the Temps for being around all these many years later. All right. Well, Otis, it was a pleasure talking to you. Congrats on all the time. We'll see you on the road. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye. Bye. Thanks so much to Otis Williams of the Temptations for giving me the call. The new record is called All the Time. Don't forget to subscribe to Consequence of Sound's YouTube channel to keep up with your favorite artists and interviews. And for you podcast fiends, head over to iTunes and Podchaser. Give us a rating and review. Also, WFPK.org. That's where I do a show every Monday through Thursday from noon to 3 Eastern. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.